Hey yo, my good people, it's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to bring you another review. And on today's show, we're reviewing a movie that I've been hyped to watch in The Suicide Squad. Now, The Suicide Squad is a 2021 film directed by James Gunn and starring Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, and a bunch of other people. So, without further hesitation, let's get into my review. Now, the way I set up my reviews is they are set up through four parts. One being my expectations going in, my overall feelings as far as positives of the movies, my mixed feelings, and then I end it with a star review. So, let's get into this one. Um, The Suicide Squad. Now, expectations going in, I was very, very interested in this one. I'm a big comic book fan. I love these type of movies. I just love genre movies as a whole. Um, I had high expectations for this one, especially knowing that James Gunn was going to be directing this. James Gunn, if you know, directed movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, Super, and a bunch of other things. Like he's a really fun genre director, especially if you could think of like horror movies and stuff like that, of those type of films, but also just these heroic superhero style films. He's really good with that, and just seeing what he did with the two Guardians of the Galaxy movie and the movie Super and several other things, like I was very excited to see what he had in store for us. I did have some trepidations though, because this is a DC movie. And while I love DC as a property, the comic books, the animated series, and TV show stuff, they have been very hit and miss with a lot of the TV show stuff lately and several other movies. Like, I wasn't a fan of the first Suicide Squad movie, nor was I a fan of the most recent Zack Snyder cut, nor the Wonder Woman 1984. So they've been very missed with me. Probably the last DC movie that I enjoyed was maybe what Joker, and that's been a little while ago. And even with that one, I wasn't in total love with the movie. So, there was some hesitation going here. And to be truthful, I just really wanted to get a really fun comic book movie. I just like, yo, DC, give me something fun, man. Give me something that takes me back to a style of DC that I love, more of a comic booky thing, not trying to be so dark or so crazy. And that's what I really wanted out of this film. And to be truthful, dude, this one really gave that to me. I freaking love this film. Now, to start off with the positive, dude, just this movie altogether was just so much of a fun watch. The everything from the actors, the cast, the action, the writing, comedy, all that stuff was just so good here. The characters and the actors just alone. So you have Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, who are three of the really main characters of the movie. Um, they do such a good job of keeping the story going, keeping a lot of the comedy going. John Cena was probably my favorite character in the movie. He was so funny, and it's not really unsuspected of him anymore, because if you've seen him in other places, you see how his comedic ability is and how funny he can be at times. I really liked him here. I thought Margot Robbie continued her streak of being pretty chill Harley Quinn here. I thought she was very fun to watch, and Idris Elba as kind of a straight man, but also a little bit of jokey as well. He was really good, especially as leading this team and doing what he needed to do. Like, I really enjoyed Idris Elba in this movie, and a lot of the other guys. I thought King Shark was, or Shark King, however you say his name. He was very fun in this movie. I really enjoyed King Shark here. He was played more as a dumbed down character and stuff like that, but I enjoyed who he was. He wasn't the, and I can say this kind of for Margot Robbie as well. They weren't my favorite versions of the characters. Like, I really enjoyed the King Shark and Harley Quinn from the Harley Quinn TV show. If you've not seen that, it's on HBO Max. Check it out. It's really funny, but I enjoyed their versions a little bit more. But both of them were still very fun in this movie, and all around the characters and the actors, like who we ended up getting as a Suicide Squad here, I thought really worked very well, and they were just very fun to watch, and all the actors did a really great job. The action here, man. If you want to talk about an R-rated movie and how to do a R-rated comic book movie and how to do some action, you do it phenomenal here. The action is not only very well shot, it's not only worked very well to where you can see actually what's going on and everything, but it's also bloody. It's just done very, very well, man. There's just so many things that you see here where you see, oh, James Gunn know how to shoot action. He knows who not only do that, but get the people to train the actors up, get the stuntman to do things right. You can see his abilities from a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy really pay off here. And like, dude, I'm so happy DC got him to direct this because it's such a great job of what he was doing. The writing in this movie was very fun, man. Not all the jokes hit, but I would say a good 70 to 80% of the jokes were just really good here. I liked a lot of the stuff John Cena did in this movie, but a lot of the writing with the characters, they all had a good amount of backstory to them. They all had character development in some shape or form. Even for something like King Shark, he had a good amount of character development in this movie, and I really liked what they did with a lot of the characters. Um, I thought that certain ones like Ratcatcher really did take herself from one spot to another with her character, which I really did like. John Cena really evolved with this movie. I felt the writing for him was very funny. It was very well done, and just altogether, like just as a comedy, this works well. Just you know, they had perfect timing here with a lot of the stuff. Just there were certain things with this movie where you go, yo, these people know exactly what they're doing. And also this really didn't feel like any of the other DC or Marvel movies that you've seen. The closest probably something like a Deadpool, but this movie had its own style. It didn't really feel like, oh, I'm just watching a DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy, or I'm just watching the DC Deadpool. Like they had their own feel. The characters acted the way you wanted them to act. It was nothing like the original Suicide Squad movie. Like from color to tones to actors, like everybody felt special here. Everybody felt well written for here. Like just totally great job with what they were doing with these characters in this movie. Like I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of that. And lastly, how they used their R rating. This movie was grimy. It was bloody, cussing, a couple boob shots here and there. Like, but it wasn't overly done. It didn't feel like they were doing it just to do it, or we're going to be cheeky and just have a couple of cuss words here. Like it felt like they meant what they were saying. It felt like the characters were real here, even though there was more of a cartoony feel to the movie. Everything felt virtually real and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. Like this movie was a lot of positives for me. Like I seriously, through the beginning to end, had a super fun time watching it. Now, with saying that, I do have mixed feelings. I do have some slight negatives with the movie. I'm gonna start with the thing I thought was the biggest takeaway as far as I wasn't feeling that too much was the length of the movie. The movie was about 20 to 15 minutes too long. Probably 20 at the most. Like I did start to feel the length here where certain scenes could have most definitely been cut. There were, parts where I would have like, oh, maybe edit this down a little bit or take this part a little bit away. Like there's some stuff with Harley Quinn here where I love Harley Quinn and I love Margot Robbie doing Harley Quinn, but there's one scene with her and a dictator character that I kind of either felt you edit it down a lot more or just take it out altogether. I wasn't in love with the scene, and it kind of slowed down the film a little bit too much to where it was starting to feel like I have a pacing issue to where, it just, we're going up and up and up and kind of keeping a good snappy feeling to the movie, and it kind of slowed it down. There was another scene where you got a little bit of Ratcatcher's backstory that also felt to slow it down. Even though I like the cameo that we kind of get in that scene, it did take a little bit away from the pacing of the movie, which it wasn't too big of a problem, but I did started to notice it while watching the movie. I would say the second thing is the overall villains of this movie. While I would say there are two villains that I did like in this movie, the ones that you get for the most of this movie, I generally kind of got nothing from. There was some general and kind of a president type character in the movie that they really didn't do nothing for me. They were there as just kind of the figurehead type people that they're the Suicide Squad have to go and attack these guys and get their people back and stop them from doing whatever they're doing, but they were more just kind of caricatures and didn't really do anything. They weren't really memorable in any way. And I would have liked to see more from the other villains that we did get in the Thinker and Starro, who you saw both of them in the trailer. I would have loved to have gotten more from them. I thought the Thinker and Starro were very fun here as villains. Especially Starro. I thought that as this big monster kind of thing from the comic books, which where Starro was the first villain in the first I want to say what Justice League comic book. That was a character who I was like, you are never going to be able to see this character on the big screen. Like, there's no way they can do this live action. And they ended up doing it here. Like, I'm not going to give away what they were or what happened, but that was a very fun character. And I enjoyed what they did with Starro. Like, him, both the Thinker as well. Like, I would have liked to have seen more out of both of those characters and seen them have a lot more grimier and bloodier things that they could have done. Like, I thought that would have been a lot of fun here. But like I said, it didn't take too much away from the film for me. It is a kind of a mixed feeling for me, but it's not a heavy one. I would say another thing that I would have loved to see is a couple of the characters that were sprinkled throughout the movie, especially towards the beginning. I would have liked to gotten more of them. Like, I like the cast that we have here, but I would have liked to have seen them probably extend throughout the movie. I'm not gonna give away which character it is, but especially there's one character who I thought was a great design and I thought has a possibility of being a lot of fun. I would like to see that character maybe show up a little bit more throughout the movie or surprise sections of it. Like, you know, I think we may get that character later on, but it was like, man, I would love seeing a couple of these characters, you know, sprinkled throughout a little bit of here. And yeah, that's really all the mixed feelings I have with this movie, dude. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a super fun comic booky ass comic book movie, like R rating and everything. And they just did so well with this one, man. Like, it's been a while since I've watched a DC movie and came out of it like, dude, I have really barely any problems with that. Like, I enjoyed that so much. And damn, I want to watch that again. Like, I like Joker for what it was, but I haven't watched it again. Whereas this one, I could see in a few months me turn this back on and just saying, yo, let's watch Suicide Squad. Like, James Gunn, man, did a damn good job with this one, and I can't see what you do with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like, yo, let's bring it, man. But yeah, man, as far as a star rating goes, I probably gotta say, dude, this is a 4.25 stars, man. Like, close to 4.5, dude. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Like, yeah, this was a very fun watch for me, and I didn't have that many problems with this movie. That's been my Suicide Squad review. I can't wait to see what DC has up next. I think it's the Batman that's coming up next for them. So I can't wait to see how that's going to be. Like and subscribe this, man, and just tell me what you thought about this movie. I'm very interested to see what everyone else thinks. So yeah, thank you for watching my review. Like and subscribe, like I said, and I'll check you out later. Peace.